All right, let's dive in. We're going to decode 7 small but seriously powerful Japanese habits that are designed to give you unstoppable mental clarity. If you're tired of all that mental noise and you're ready to really sharpen your focus, you are in exactly the right place. Does that quote hit home? I mean, we've all been there, right? That scattered, heavy feeling where you're physically in the room, but your mind is just a million miles away. Well, that mental clutter is exactly what we are going to tackle today. And here's the secret, and it's totally backed by psychology. This isn't about some massive, life-altering overhaul. Nope. Real, lasting transformation actually comes from the tiny, consistent things we do every single day. They quietly build up into something incredibly powerful. Okay, first up, habits of micro progress. This is where we get into the amazing and honestly often underestimated power of taking small, consistent steps. It's all about the small wins. This brings us to our very first habit, Kaizen. You might have heard of it. It's this simple but really profound practice of just getting 1% better every day. It's about focusing on those tiny, achievable steps forward, not some overwhelming, giant leap. So, what's the big deal with 1%? Well, it's fascinating. Because the target is so small, it feels totally doable, which stops your brain from freaking out and getting overwhelmed. Psychologically, your brain just loves predictable rewards. So each tiny success gives you a little hit of dopamine, which keeps you motivated for the long haul. And that's the core difference, right there. You know, the typical approach of trying to make these huge, exhausting changes, it almost always leads to burnout. But Kaizen, it's a gentle, sustainable path. It's about playing the long game, not desperately searching for a quick fix. The next habit of micro-progress is so simple. It's the act of observing before you speak or act. Just think of it like a workout for your brain's ability to hit the pause button, what we call cognitive restraint. You know, that small pause is everything. It's the little bit of space that separates a knee-jerk emotional reaction from a thoughtful, logical response. And in that moment, you can actually process all the little details, like tone and subtext, that most people just miss completely. All right, next up, we have habits of physical harmony. This is where we explore that direct, absolutely undeniable connection between our physical world and our mental state. They're not separate things. And first in this category is Danshari. It's the idea that decluttering your physical space directly declutters your mind. And listen, this isn't just about making your room look nice, it's actually about optimizing how your brain functions. And there's real science here. Studies from places like Princeton have shown that physical clutter is constantly competing for your attention. It overloads your working memory and it spikes cortisol, the stress hormone. So by removing all that physical noise, you're literally giving your brain the space it needs to think clearly. Next up is a really powerful practice from Okinawa, which is one of the world's longevity hotspots. It's called Hara Hachibu, and it's the simple habit of eating until you're only about 80% full. That 80%, it's not some random number. What this practice does is it trains something psychologists call interoceptive awareness, which is basically the skill of actually listening to your body's internal signals. When your body isn't sluggish from being overloaded, your energy and your focus stay stable all day long. Our final habit in this section is Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. And no, this isn't about hiking or working out. It's the simple, almost meditative act of just being present in nature, soaking in the light, the sounds, and the quiet movements all around you. The effect is just profound. Even 10 minutes of this activates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your body's rest and digest mode. It lowers your stress hormones, and it basically acts like a hard reset for your entire mental and emotional state. Okay, on to our final section, habits of perception. This is all about reframing your mindset because how you see the world directly, and I mean directly, shapes how you think. So let's talk about Shoshin, or the beginner's mind. This is the habit of approaching every single task with genuine curiosity, like you're doing it for the very first time. It's a powerful antidote to something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You know, that bias where we overestimate how much we know, and because of that, we just stop learning. Just imagine that for a second. What if you approached every task this way? This mindset keeps your brain's curiosity system constantly switched on, triggering those little dopamine rewards every time you learn something new. It can make growing and learning feel exciting again, not like a chore.
And finally, we have wabi-sabi. This is the art of finding beauty in things that are flawed, incomplete, or imperfect. And for anyone out there who struggles with perfectionism, this is an absolute game changer.
Let's be real, perfectionism is paralyzing. It just burns through all of your creative energy and your focus. But wabi-sabi, that offers freedom. By letting go of the need for everything to be perfect, you free up a huge amount of mental bandwidth to just create and think and actually enjoy the process. So, when you put all of these habits together, what happens? Well, you're not just tweaking your daily routine. You are building a brand new identity, one that moves from constant distraction to deep, focused discipline. So let's just do a quick recap of the 7 habits. We had Kaizen for micro progress, observing before acting, Danshari for a clear space and a clear mind, Hara Hachibu for body awareness, Shinrin-yoku for resetting in nature, Shoshin, the beginner's mind, and wabi-sabi to embrace imperfection. And this, right here, is maybe the most important takeaway of all. When you master these small, consistent habits, you're not just managing your schedule better, you are fundamentally changing who you are, right down to your core.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, doesn't it? It's not about doing everything all at once. It's about starting small. So the only question left is, which 1% change